Hello, I'm Skim. I'm live here at DreamHack. It's day 3, the final day, and I'm here with Aoi 2000 from Team Dignitas. Hello, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm doing okay. I mean, we lost, so I'm disappointed.
Yeah, well, it's to be expected, but I think you put up a good fight. If you had to summarize your performance so far, overall, how would you say? How would you rate it?
Absolutely terrible. I mean, there are like a myriad of excuses that we have for why we did so bad, but nothing that really justifies our poor performance. I mean, there's like jet lag, poor team cohesion, bad practice schedule, and just underperforming by everyone on our team. So,
very humble words. Well, if you already know what went wrong, how are you planning on improving?
well, when we get back, there will definitely be some changes to how we practice. We're definitely going to set up, I guess, a really solid practice schedule. We're going to time out all our school schedules together because we have a bunch of us in university, so it's sort of harder for us to practice than a lot of other teams. And hopefully that will help us to do better in the future.
I hope it will work. This is your first DreamHack?
Yes.
What's your experience so far, aside from the Dota tournament?
Oh, DreamHack is absolutely amazing. I mean, when I just walked into the Bring Your Own Computer venue, and there are like 1,000 computers there, and everyone's just playing games. It's like, this is the gamer's dream place, right? Like, thousands of gamers just in one giant LAN, and it is the world's biggest LAN after all.
Yeah, and this is your, I think, second LAN with Team Dignitas. The first was ESWC.
Yes.
How do you say is your LAN coordination so far? I mean, your team experience on LAN so far?
I mean, it's been relatively poor. I think in both tournaments we did not perform to our potential. I mean, with the two LANs being so close together and school semesters ending, I mean, we didn't practice as much as we wanted for either of the LANs too. So there's that to consider. So overall, pretty poor on our part.
Are you looking forward to attending more LANs in Europe, even though it's a long trip?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I have a 30-hour travel time to get here with layovers and a 40-hour to get back, but I'd say it's definitely worth it. So 70 hours of travel, and I think it was an amazing event.
Out of all the players you met here, is there anyone in particular you were very fond meeting, or who you were looking forward to meeting finally?
I mean, I met a lot of the Dota 2 players at the International, and since I have 3 Han players on my team, they always tell me stories about some of the Han players. It was sort of interesting meeting those players. And I was a StarCraft 2 player before I played Dota, so it was really cool just meeting a lot of the StarCraft 2 pros that I've heard about or seen or talked to online.
You talked about that you're, relatively new to basically to this scene, more or less. How long do you intend on playing Dota 2?
I think my plan is to go until the International 4. I think that's when I would have to say like, oh, let me continue my finish off my education, go for either professional school or go into the workforce at that point. Unless I'm doing really well in Dota, at which point it would be economically viable to continue playing.
Okay, let's talk about you a bit more. I mean, you've been playing Gyrocopter in this tournament 2 times, 3 times? I'm not. Couple of times, 2 times, and one very successfully with 2 rampages, a double rampage. Is this a hero you practice very often with, or was it just a spontaneous pick?
Well, we got a little bit of practice off with him, and it worked really well. I mean, as I mentioned before, we did not have a good practice schedule or regiment going into this tournament, but I think Gyrocopter is probably one of the heroes that will be introduced in the new metagame. I mean, a lot of heroes that are being played right now in Dota 2 are sort of AoE based carries. You can either have like Magnetar, who's completely broken, plus a melee carry who can then get the cleave from him, or you have AoE range carries like Luna, Gyro. Like, range AoE is just incredibly strong in teamfights right now.
Is there any carry hero you like in particular?
I still like Naga Siren, Broodmother, Viper. Like, those were my signature heroes, I guess, from before. All of them are sort of a bit shifted on metagame, but I still think that they can all be made to work.
Definitely. DreamHack, it's the final day. EG just took the first game of Fnatic. How do you expect the rest of the games to go? I mean, no Titan is already in the final. Who do you expect as the winner overall?
I think that EG will finish off Fnatic this series 2-0. And then the last one, I think that it'll be pretty close, but EG has this like more LAN experience in No Tidehunter, so I think that might edge them out. I mean, in an online competition with 0 ping and less LAN pressure, I mean, No Tidehunter, I think they definitely could take off EG, and even on LAN with less experience, they definitely can take the series, but I think EG has the overall advantage.
You and EG, or Dignitas and EG, are pretty much the only teams coming from the North American scene, or at least the most dominant teams. Is there any team you know of that you think could be the next dominant, very good North American team?
Well, there's the sort of reformed Team Complexity. I think they're playing under the name the A Team right now. It's just like Bulba, Fluff, Korok, TC, and IX Mike. I think that team will be incredibly strong. Like, just look at their lineup. That is a good team. So there's that, and I mean, amateur teams, it's just like a lot of dedication and hard work, and a lot of the teams can get good.
Why do you think is it that the North American scene is rather, well, isn't very well represented in the Dota scene so far?
Well,
in terms of sheer numbers.
In terms of sheer numbers, I mean, Dota in general in the North American scene, I mean, a lot of Dota 2 players came from Dota 1, and in Dota 1 there was essentially no Dota scene, like no competitive scene in North America. You had like a few players like Demon, Fear, Merlini. That's basically all of North America in the competitive scene. So there's that transition where, like, if you have less Dota 1 players that are really good, then you have less Dota 2 players from that area who are really good. Also, geographically, North America is a lot more spread out. I think a lot of Dota teams is about team cohesion, and for a European team, it was a lot easier for them to get together, meet at a LAN or something. Like, I mean, they have DreamHack, which is giant, and stuff like that. So, and if you have people meeting in real life, forming a team, and they all like each other, then those teams will stick together. And then, as opposed to North America, where it's really hard to meet up as a Dota team.
Well, thank you for the very good interview. And well, are there any shoutouts to anyone?
Sure, I'd like to give a shout out to Team Dignitas and our sponsors Intel, Antec, and Alienware. I'd like to give another shout out to our manager Charlie and Rainbow Stick. And yeah, that's all.
Thanks.